Yeah, I'm just going to start it up. I don't care if you're ready.
Yeah, we're not.
We're rolling.
It doesn't matter.
We're recording.
Caw-caw!
So, I know it doesn't. No, don't start. Don't do your stupid morning zoo garbage. Jesus Christ.
I didn't do
anything. Why are you compelled? I heard you. I heard a what? I heard something.
No, I was just turning the camera so you can see Rob.
So, here's what we're going to see, like half of your face and Rob's shoulder is what, like, because it's going to, what it does is it crops the center.
I got
so,
you.
I mean,
I have nothing to do with it.
If Steve was smart, we'd sit back further, but.
Yeah.
No, I tried that. It's still
cropped.
Yeah. I set up the camera earlier.
It zoomed in on your head.
Yeah, it's still like no matter where it is. Well, I guess I could get an extension to the USB and take it all the way fucking back, but then by that point we couldn't see any of us anyway. So
yeah,
this is a great opening. All right, this is great for our podcast listeners. All this talk about what's going on visually.
They're like, and we only talked for a minute. It wasn't bad.
That's the intro, though.
Is it better than Steve's intro? Hey, everybody!
Hey, guys! It's Steve reads a comic. Please don't make that sound again. I got these things in. Yeah. So, all right, let's get right into it. Wandavision wrapped up.
Yes.
Spoiler alert for anybody listening or watching. All Wandavision episodes are on the table. If you haven't watched it yet and you don't want it to be spoiled, this is your warning. You can turn it off now because there will be spoilers starting at the end of this sentence. Iron Man dies.
Damn, why is Sean all choppy?
Because your internet sucks.
I plugged in the Ethernet.
Yeah.
Yes. So, WandaVision, what did you think?
Well, we all three of us have already discussed it at length. However, with a little bit of time to process, I've kind of reached a different conclusion about how I feel about the series as a whole. I still don't like the first 3 episodes. Still think that was a total waste of time. But the wrap up, the final episode, I was actually satisfied with. Ultimately, once I got past all my stupid fan theories of what I thought should happen, and I just kind of took it for what it was a really good character building story about Wanda and Vision. It was a good, romance, love story kind of thing. Very touching, very emotional ending. Overall, I enjoyed it. I'd give it like if we were going to use our rating scale, I'd give it a 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
If I'm only judging episodes 4 through 9, if I have to include episodes 1 through 3, I give it like 2.
Oh man.
Yeah. If you skip those episodes, it's a 3 out of 4.
I did like how they tied everything in, but I'm with you. I like the Ghost of Christmas Past episode way better, and yeah, I mean, they really did everything they, they set up the movie perfectly. So I guess that was their goal.
As far as the first 3 episodes go, I know you didn't like them, but I think it just showed how good Elizabeth Olsen of an actress.
I already knew that though. I saw her in Old Boy.
But I mean,
I was aware.
She it brought out her skill, which was nice because we haven't really seen her in the movies that much. She's always been a bit player.
Yeah.
So,
I remember telling you guys, I was like, I was telling you about that hallway scene in the episode before the last one where she busts open the doors and she just looks so badass going in to see Vision. And I was just like, why couldn't Wonder Woman have been like that? Why couldn't I wanted to get behind Wonder Woman like I got behind Scarlet Witch, and I guess that's just storytelling, so
yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. But I like the Theseus. Did you like the ship of Theseus? I've never heard that before, so that was kind of cool.
I do remember hearing that briefly. so a long time ago. But yeah, no, it was cool to have that whole interaction with Vision and Vision. Now we got another Vision running around. But yeah, let's talk about the ending though. The credit scenes. We got into a heated argument with a drunken Steve last Friday night.
It would have been just a normal argument if I was.
No.
Yeah.
Rob, it's funny. Rob said it first, but I think Rob and I both realized around the exact same time, like, wait a minute, this is drunk Steve.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, about 10 minutes into arguing with Steve, well, not arguing, but just trying to prove our point, I was like, he's drunk. But then I didn't say it. We argued for another hour, and then I was just like, I didn't want to, like, call Steve out, And then I was just like,
I realized it. If I'd realized it when you did, I realized, I literally realized it like a minute before you said it.
I realized it I'm sorry. I realized it like 15 minutes into the conversation. I just didn't say it. I was being nice. And then after another hour and my wife coming out and saying, you need to shut up, the neighbors can hear you. I was like, you know what?
Hey, it was like Chocolate Milk 2. Version 2.0.
Exactly, which means nobody enjoyed it but you.
Right.
Yeah, Rob's
Steve is the most belligerent drunk in the world. He's basically Donald Trump when you start arguing with him. Like, he will just lie, and he doesn't care about facts or evidence or anything. I didn't
lie. When did I lie? I never lied. I just thought my point was
I'm not talking about this conversation. My point is, you will back up things that don't make sense, things that are not true. No facts will reach you. Like, you are a Trump supporter in those moments, and you're like, no, masks don't work. The virus is a hoax. You're a sheep. You're living in fear, and like nothing will convince you otherwise. Nothing.
I can't argue with that. All that's true.
See, now you're not drunk. That's why you're not arguing right now. If you were drunk, you would be arguing all these points.
I was arguing because I thought, they wanted you to think that she turned bad. Like, I thought that was obvious.
Why don't you set it up for the listener?
That's what I was saying. That was
no.
And I was getting angry at you guys for like being like, no, that's not that's stupid. I'm like, I thought that was what they were talking about. The Darkhold. They were like, this is a bad book. And then she's reading the bad book. I'm like, this can't end well. This is probably not going to go well for Wanda if she's reading the book of sins.
Why don't you set it up for the listener? Because they have no idea what we were arguing about.
Oh, well,
I'll
I
set
don't know.
it up.
I was drinking.
So in the credit scene, they show Wanda. I don't know if you read that article I sent. I think Rob probably did. The article I sent today from Nerdist, which I didn't know any of that. About whatever that was called. That whole mountain area apparently is a place that exists in the comics. That she went retired to read the Darkhold. Did you actually read it?
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. But we were arguing about the fact, like, Rob and I think, kind of agreed that the ending was to set up Doctor Strange. That's why she was, studying outside of her body, just like Doctor Strange. And the Doctor Strange movie was supposed to release shortly after this series, but, COVID turned everything back. So that was kind of pretty obvious. But Steve got hung up on the particular book she was reading and thinking just reading the book alone is enough to just turn her evil because it's an evil book.
Yeah. She was reading the Darkhold. The Darkhold. Steve watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's one of the few people, me and him, that watched it.
That's why I was so hung up on it.
But I watched it too, though. And in like 2 seasons, one with Ghost Rider, one with another season, they explain the Darkhold and how evil it is, and it's an evil book, and yada, yada, yada. So Steve took that as, she's going to be like super evil. She's reading an evil book. It turned her right then and there because she's reading that evil book.
Yeah, but I didn't say that was going to happen. I just thought that's what they wanted you to think was going to happen. Like, anything Marvel's done has totally, it's been great. And it shocked me. And like Sean was saying, if they did do that, it kind of throws everything Wanda just did in the whole season out the door. She stayed strong through all those moments and everything just to get turned to the dark side. It's like, why did she go through all that shit, And that,
well, just to clarify, though, my argument is that like, she can never go bad. But my point was just reading a book shouldn't be the thing that pushes her over, no matter how evil it is, especially since. And then what I was talking about, too, is just tonally the way they ended it, that there was nothing to extrapolate as a viewer unless you have seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or you've read about this Darkhold. I didn't think that book was of any significance other than it was a book of spells that Agatha was using, and now Wanda had it because she was totally uneducated, and now she was educating herself. And it tonally, the way they ended, again, there were no musical cues, there were no visual cues, that anything she was doing was dangerous. Normally, the comparison would be
beady
to the
eyes. She had red beady eyes.
She's Scarlet Witch, dude.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, I just looked at that and I'm like, okay, they want us to think she's going back.
Okay,
that's
so in Steve's defense, I mean, that's very good to point that out. I didn't think that at all, and I saw Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I, like Sean said, tonally, they totally didn't suggest that at all. But not only that, like we were trying to point out to Steve, was if you watched WandaVision in all 9 episodes, it's like if she didn't turn like evil, after that last episode, like super evil, nothing's gonna turn her evil. I was
trying to say to you guys was that was before she started reading the evil book. That's all I was saying.
Yeah,
she stopped all this.
That's
before.
Not all you were saying. You were convinced.
No. That was my main. Again, that was my main.
Literally, the only thing, the only rational conclusion a viewer could reach after seeing that is that she's in the Doctor Strange movie. She's studying like Doctor. That's the only illusion they were giving was, look, she's studying like Doctor Strange now. That was it. That was literally like the only takeaway. And at the end of Incredible Hulk, you saw Bruce Banner. He's meditating, and then all of a sudden the timer goes down and it zooms in and his eyes turn green. Like that's the kind of cue they give when they're like, bad thing. Now, I think if anything could turn her evil in the future, I think I think it still is a possibility. Because the other thing that we haven't touched on yet is we did hear her children that she gave up. So we heard them, yelling for help. So if she goes after her kids and somebody tries to stop her, I think that could. But the book itself, all she's doing is learning how to harness her powers. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but the whole time, Agatha's like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what this is about. You don't know how powerful you are. She's already mentioned the book is dark, not good, evil book. So all that, I like if she starts reading it, I think she's, she goes in with good intentions, but it ends up duping her, and then I see
that's dumb. A book can't dupe her. Like I said, a circumstance. A circumstance of her children. But again, she's educating herself from this book. That's all she's doing.
Right.
Like you said, Agatha told her, she's like, you don't know all this. So she's like, well, shit, I have a resource now. Right. Let me learn about who I am.
She is educating herself. And, I get it. But like maybe those spells are too powerful. Like what Agatha said, she said she has the power, but lacks the knowledge, So she's got that power, and maybe she's starting with knowledge that is above where she should be starting. That's all I was thinking. And then she ends up doing stuff that she thinks will work out well and ends up, I don't know, killing her children. I don't fucking know. But I just thought
I hear what you're saying, and it's really, really stupid. I'll just say it that way.
Okay.
It's really dumb.
Well,
okay.
First of all, she didn't even know she was a witch until the last episode.
Right.
So, and second,
again, it's an educational experience.
Right. And she was like making Earl Grey on the stove. She was very calm. She didn't look evil at all. I mean, I just didn't take away. I just watched 9 episodes of her going through hell, and then having to give up her family again, lose people she loves again. And she didn't turn evil. She saved the townspeople, even though, she inflicted bad things on them, but not purposely. Maybe there at the end when she did know she was controlling things, but she didn't know she was hurting them until the last episode.
Okay.
And, I just didn't, if she was going to give up Vision again for the 3rd time.
But Vision is still out there.
Well,
so if she does,
she doesn't know that.
But if she does get duped
she didn't
by the book, maybe the one
She's not
thing
going to get duped by a book.
If
It's
she
not
gets-
the Bible.
if she gets
the Bible
duped,
does that. This is not the Bible.
if she gets duped by the book, Vision's still out there. He could be the one person that pulls her back. That brings her back to the light. That's all I'm saying.
You might be right on everything, and we'll watch a DC movie.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Thank you, Rob.
She just went through that. She saved the townspeople. If she wanted to be evil after that, she would have been evil. Now, I'm not saying she won't turn bad or get manipulated and do something evil. I'm not saying that. I mean, you have to have some type of arc.
Yeah.
In
But the catalyst can't be just a book at this point,
right?
I don't point I'm making.
Yeah, I just didn't get that, and I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I didn't. That's fine. And like Steve was saying, well, it's chaos magic. It's super evil. Here's the thing: she's meant to perform that magic. She is the Scarlet Witch. She can control chaos magic, whereas the people in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They weren't magic people at all. One was a robot, and the other people were just, regular humans.
Mm-hmm.
So they had no control. The evil, might have influenced them. You could explain it like that,
dude.
I'm trying to help you with your theory.
No, dude. I'm with you guys. Like, I agree with Sean. Like, it's shit. Like, if they go that route, it's like you said. It's like, well, why don't we just make another DC movie then? And that's why I'm like, I thought that's what they wanted you to think. I didn't think they were going to go that route. But I do keep thinking back to what the Sorcerer Supreme said to the Hulk, and when she was like, he was meant to be the best of us. When she's talking about Doctor Strange, and I'm like, man, if she didn't see any other, person more powerful than Doctor Strange,
She did no. She never said more powerful.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if she didn't see Wanda. Like, if she saw another good person with that much power, like, why didn't she get why didn't she?
Because Wanda's never been a Sorcerer Supreme. That's not her path. That's what the point is. Like, Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. You're confusing. Again, it's a title. She's not just talking about people with magical abilities. Right. She's talking about people who have earned the title of Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes.
Doctor Strange is at the top of that.
I get
Wanda
that,
is not.
But I know she's going to be in the next movie with Doctor Strange, and she's very powerful. So I just thought maybe, yes, you can have two. Like, they are trying to introduce.
I'm just laughing.
Let's get Rob's reaction.
I'm like, did you listen to anything Sean just said?
Yes,
no,
I fucking said.
Because
yes.
You're explaining it like you didn't hear a word he just said.
I do.
He doesn't get it. It's fine. I give up.
I'm saying if you have those two powerful people in the next movie, I get it. If they're good, then they're definitely introducing Chthon or whatever that guy is, and he'll be the main bad guy.
We don't know that. That's speculation.
Pretty much.
There's Shakhan.
Mephisto's a possibility.
Shakhan. I don't know his name. CH something.
Yes.
Chica.
Yeah. And then
there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
but again, all I'm saying, no matter what path they pursue, if they go the stupid Scooby-Doo route that Steve loves so much, then that would be disappointing.
I didn't say I loved it. I did not say I love it. I said that's where I thought they wanted you to think they were going. That's all I said.
And like I said, I think mine and Rob's argument is the fact that just, again, watching Wanda, watching the events of her life, watching the events of this series, paying attention, watching the end credits of this show, again, there was no stinger sound. It wasn't like when Thanos was like, I'll do this myself. It wasn't ominous. She's literally secluded herself from the world. She's educating herself and drinking Earl Grey. At no point she didn't have any sort of, there was no implication of any wrongdoing in that scene in my mind. So it's weird to me to reach the conclusion that that book is now going to turn her bad. Okay.
But that was more than just her reading the book. It's everything Agatha was saying about her up until that point. So that's what I thought she could go bad. That's all I was saying.
Oh yeah. We're not arguing with you on that point.
Oh, I thought you were.
We're just saying
the book can't be
the thing. Right. We're telling you the book isn't the thing. We don't think so. We don't know. Maybe it is.
I said that when I was arguing after 7 beers with you guys. I said it wasn't just one thing. It was a bunch of things.
And now you're sober.
Yeah, I know. And I'm starting to think
You're still going.
like maybe what's the difference?
And again, she could learn some knowledge in there that I think could enable her to do some really powerful stuff. Or, I mean, I don't know how you get much more powerful than enslaving an entire neighborhood and mind controlling people and all that kind of stuff. She already did. That's already pretty amazing. But I mean, obviously, there's stuff there. Again, I think she's just learning how to harness her power, learning who she is. And it might be a catalyst to bring in Doctor Strange. He might be like, no. Here's some better books, whatever. Or again, she wants to go after her kids, and but I just don't think the book itself. I don't think it's going to like Evil Dead style, like bite her hand and turn her into a bad person. That's just a weird approach. The
book can transform itself. So if it wanted to,
it's a very hackneyed trope. Again, it's like an episode of Scooby-Doo, or I don't know, maybe that's how they do in Harry Potter. It sounds very Harry Potter to me. It's bad writing. It's bad writing. It's got to be more than that. And again, her kids are out there. Somebody might have her kids. Again, Mephisto being the one thing, if you're going to reference the comics, it would make sense for Mephisto to get involved, since they were in the comics apparently made from him somehow. A fragment of his soul is what her kids are made out of, or something. I don't know if they're going to go that route. But again, I just don't think that the credit scene was intending to make us think something bad was happening, is basically my whole point. I don't think that particular scene was meant to be. I think it was meant to make us think, again, because my first thought, that's how Doctor Strange learned. I mean, it's a direct reference to Doctor Strange. And that's what it's supposed to be. I feel like it's just supposed to make you think of Doctor Strange, and that's it. It's not. I don't think it's supposed to make you think that, she secluded herself away from the world so she could take it over. Like, it would make zero sense considering what she just did. Her parents died. Her brother died. She killed Vision. She watched Vision die. She made Vision die. She put her kids to bed forever. And then, she reads a book, and that would just be so stupid.
Yeah. Well, I think the book is sending, the voices of her kid to her, like already implanting a fucking seed. That's all I'm saying, So
okay, there's a thought. There's something new. You never said that before.
Yeah, that's not all you're saying. That's the first time you said that.
Right. That's the first logical thought you've had so far. That's all right. I like this now. You're thinking like a writer now, and not like a Scooby-Doo writer.
Fuck you guys. That's what I was thinking. I just didn't.
You never said that. You never articulated that till just now.
Dude, I'm just saying. You read an evil book and you got red glowing eyes. That's enough for me to think.
She always has red glowing eyes. That's her
thing.
Never
had red glowing eyes. She never had red.
What are you? I didn't.
She released her fucking shit out of her chest, but she never had red glowing eyes. And now she's got her fucking witch fucking hat. It's just like, I just think evil. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, you win. You're right.
No, I don't win, because I don't
want.
I don't want that. I'm with you guys. I don't want that to be like that.
She's never been evil though, even in the comics. I mean, like, not like inherent evil.
Right. She's actually mentally ill in the comics. That's the other thing. Is like, you don't want to demonize that condition.
Was she mentally ill by reading an evil book? I don't know.
No. I'm answering for you. No, she wasn't.
Dude, did you watch WandaVision and like all the Marvel movies and all the shit that's happened to that?
Yes, I get it.
I'd be mentally ill too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I get it, man. But
dude, all right. So, Steve's right. He's manifesting this into the world, so we should thank him when this happens.
No.
So let's move on to.
No. I am with you guys. I don't want that to be the way. Look at me. I'm
stop
pointing.
manifesting it.
I am pointing.
You're manifesting.
I'm not manifesting.
You're manifesting
shit.
it. You are. You're like,
I do not.
Make a crappy Marvel movie. Do it. Do it.
I do not want to go that
Do
route.
it. That's you right now.
It's like Rob said, man. It's like, why don't you just make a DC movie?
Exactly.
You know? So,
all right. I saw some comments on our Facebook page that it was actually just kind of funny. I think it was mostly just my wife and my brother-in-law and my sister going back and forth. But Maggie was talking about how she would absolutely use her powers to bring me back if I died. And my brother-in-law was like, that's stupid or whatever. And then my sister got upset, and it was very funny. I found that very entertaining. I'm like, yeah, I'd bring my wife back in a heartbeat if I was Wanda. I would. Why wouldn't I? I would have done the same thing she did in WandaVision, basically. Maybe not to the extent of, I don't need a whole town. I just don't. I don't need neighbors. So I don't need to possess a whole town. But I would absolutely recreate my family, or just if I had that level, of ability, I would do that. Would you do that?
Well, hell yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sean said, I don't need a town. I never leave the house.
No, I don't want a town.
Right.
I'd make a crater. I'd just live in a crater.
Would you make a better house, like a little bit bigger?
Oh yeah, no. If I had the
okay.
ability, I'd do all. Yeah, but I would absolutely not have neighbors. That's so unnecessary. I would just recreate my little family, and that's it. I don't know why she needed to do the whole town. That was weird. I guess again, trauma. That's all trauma, though. And
yeah.
But yeah, so I think in the end, though, I did enjoy the last 6 episodes overall. I said I was a little disappointed at first. I wanted it to be like a stronger tie-in to the MCU at large, but it was a good little character piece.
Hey, how'd you like that mid-air witch fight?
Oh, you want to talk about that? You want to get into how much I hated the fucking I don't like magic?
I just want to see your face.
Yeah, that was disappointing, but I knew that was coming. I was telling Steve, I was texting him, I was just like, dude, I can't get into magic fights. Again, Harry Potter, they're throwing snowballs at each other while floating around is like the dumbest looking thing. And when George Lucas did Attack of the Clones, which is one of the most hated of the prequel movies, I love it because you get to see Yoda fight with a lightsaber. But that whole scene, you got Dooku throws lightning and Yoda, tosses it away, and then they're tossing stuff at each other or whatever. And then Dooku's like, after about a minute of that, he's like, well, this isn't going to be settled with the Force. And they bust out the fucking lightsabers, and you're like, oh, yeah. You're like, yes, that's what I want. That was like the first time I responded to a movie in the theater where I was like, oh, when Yoda, when he fucking used the Force to fucking make his lightsaber go over to his hand.
Hell yeah.
I was like rock hard, dude. I was just like, oh my God, it's happening. And then they threw down. Like, that's what I want to see, physical interaction instead of people floating and throwing snowballs. Like I can't invest in that. I don't understand the physics of magic. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you throwing bigger snowballs? Like, I don't know. It's just so much stuff going on. I can't follow it.
Rob, what do you think of magic fights?
I know. I don't just when he said it the other night, when he brought it up, I was like, yeah, he's kind of right. It is kind of stupid. I mean, if you watch The Matrix and then you watch a magic fight, it's like, what do you want to see?
Yeah, you'd rather see kung fu for sure. Yeah. Now, what? Why is that different than laser beams or Vision's beam or Thor's lightning in midair? Do you like those at all, or it's just the snowballs?
There's some physicality.
It's about See, like with Thor. Well, first of all, in a one-on-one fight, I think was a part of the problem. I just don't want to see that. It looks dumb. And so Thor Ragnarok, he finally realized he could use lightning. That was like a triumphant moment, You're like, oh wow, we've never seen him do this before, and he's just whooping ass. But there's still a lot of physical fighting going on as well. Like, he's not just standing there holding his hand up or doing this, just casting lightning like this over and over. And I'm like, that I couldn't get into that. Like, they write the scenes better than that. But yeah, like when you're just floating in the air and staring at each other really hard, and then throw a snowball here and there. And like I said, I know she was casting runes or whatever as well, which, made sense. But it's that kind of fight scene just isn't enjoyable for me. Like, just constant. Like, I want to see interaction, if it's with weapons or, actual kung fu, style, whatever physical fight. It can be mixed in. Like, that's I just watched Winter Soldier, which has like probably my favorite fight scenes in the whole Marvel universe. And they're probably the most grounded fight scenes in the entire Marvel universe.
Oh my!
But that's like, we've all talked about just like how he just reaches his shield under Winter Soldier's arm and pops him, and just all that stuff. Yeah. That choreography is so cool to watch at all times. Yeah. And just watching somebody float and pew, pew,
and that was straight up it's like every witch battle you've ever seen. It's just like that. They even did the nod to Bewitched. Did you see her do her head bob and then disappear? So I
and
was like,
with Vision, Vision gets physical. Even when he's fighting himself, they're still throwing each other around, phasing in and out, shooting their beams. And I like that as part of it. I don't like that being like the central thing. Like I would have liked to have seen Wanda, manifest a sword and come at her or something. That would have been cool. I would have liked to have seen something like that. That's just more exciting to me. That's just that's what's my beef with magic. It's one of my many beefs with magic. It's boring. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Again, why are you throwing tiny fireballs? I don't understand the range and of power that you have and why you don't do more. Like it's always so weird. I just don't get it.
Maybe she wants to do more, but she's not at that level. Maybe she wants to.
She made a whole town and possessed and controlled everybody simultaneously. I think she could throw a bigger fireball.
That was involuntary, though. That was out of grief.
No, I mean she did that. She went in the middle of that plot of land and just boosh.
Oh, I thought that was
manifested all that.
I thought
that was her grief.
Yeah, I thought that was her. I thought that was her grief taking over. I didn't think that was. She's like, oh fuck it, let it go. I want to create a town. I thought that was just happened with her having chaos magic and everything and all the.
No, she knew full well what her neighbors. She knew what she didn't know is that they felt like prisoners in there. She thought like their minds were wiped. Probably,
remember? Yeah,
yeah, and she probably thought she'd wiped their minds, which she seemed okay with, which I was okay with. I didn't care about those people.
So she was lying when she said, "I don't know what I didn't know I was doing all this stuff." Like she said
didn't know they could feel her pain and have her nightmares and that stuff.
Oh,
but she knew she was controlling them. She knew she made that whole town. That's why she was rewinding time and stuff like that. That's why she almost watched that dude die at the one time. She didn't fucking care.
Oh, I thought she told Vision like she didn't know, like she wasn't in control of it.
Okay, all I can think of is Winter Soldier and just like the beginning when he climbs the freaking anchor and just starts running, and that music is so gosh damn intense. Right. He's just running the whole time, all the length of the boat, and he's just like kicking people off the side of the edge, throwing knives at the guy's hand,
and it's exciting,
him, knocking him out. Yeah, the shield is bouncing and not following physics. It's awesome. I mean, that whole beginning scene is just spectacular.
That's what Sean was saying.
You got the elevator scene.
You got the elevator scene. You got the scene where he fights Winter Soldier. It's just amazing. But that opening scene, I could sit there and just watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
It's so intense.
You do watch it over and over.
I do watch it over and over again. I love that scene.
Only when it's on USA.
Only when it's on TNT.
Right. With commercials.
That's right.
Right. With commercial interruption.
Yeah.
He's like climbing the freaking anchor, the chain. It's like commercial.
Yeah.
He didn't even make it on the boat.
Or it's like playing at the bottom of the screen in a squished format while they run the credits for the movie they just showed.
No,
that's Rob's ideal platform for watching a movie.
It's playing in Snyder Cut 4x3. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I actually put the Winter Soldier in all the time. I love that. That's my favorite. Yeah, no doubt.
That is.
Civil War is good. Avengers are always good, but man,
you're right though. I mean, the fight scenes are like unparalleled. So those are the best fight scenes. Even the one with who's the French guy in the beginning where he does that backflip. Batroc. Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking about that too. It was so cool that I don't know if you know who that guy is, but he's not an actor. He's an MMA fighter. I don't know. Is a GSP. I don't know if it's George St. Pierre.
Or George St. Pierre. I have heard that name.
Yeah. That was him. And what's cool about that is he's a French MMA fighter. Batroc the Leaper is a French character. They managed to take Batroc the Leaper and make him cool. Like that was shocking. I remember when I first saw that in the movie, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's wearing the purple and orange." They called him Batroc, and it's fucking GSP. They fucking made Batroc the Leaper. They didn't give him the mustache. He had like a crazy fucking mustache.
Like DC would have done that.
Yeah.
No, he would have been all black.
He would have
been in a black uniform.
Right.
Couldn't see him.
And they wouldn't have mentioned his name at all.
Right.
It would have been in the credits, like Batroc. Like, but I think the whole magic thing kind of leads into Green Lantern.
Green Lantern. Yes.
I picked a DC comic for Rob this week because he told me he's not allowed to touch his DC Infinite app unless I give him permission. So I gave him permission.
Yes.
And I said, let's do a DC comic. I've always kind of been fascinated by the Green Lantern, even though I haven't really read much Green Lantern. And the Green Lantern that I've read, I really haven't enjoyed. Didn't think the movie was all that great. I've seen some of the cartoons, kind of cool. So I was like, well, I picked this. I went online. I looked up the best Green Lantern stories, and I picked the one that sounded the most interesting. It was called the Sinestro Corps War, and thought it was like a 12-part series. It turned out to be like 37 parts. Apologies to myself for having to endure that shit.
Hey, Rob didn't seem phased, dude. Like, Rob was like, I'm almost done. I'm like, what?
Well, I thought I was almost done. I was only like 11 in, and there was 16. I thought there was 12.
I was like, Jesus, Sean,
But-
this is a lot of reading for me.
Like
All right.
WandaVision,
All
I
right.
could have done without the first 3. I was like, what the hell is going on?
So this was written primarily by Jeff Johns, and I think Dave Gibbons wrote some issues. Had a lot of different artists. I think so. A couple of the main artists were Ethan Van Sciver, Ian Reese. I'm not sure how to say his name, and I saw Patrick Gleason did a few episodes. I'm sounding like Rob now. He did a few issues. Patrick Gleason is an artist I actually really like now. He does some Spider-Man stuff, an amazing artist. I thought a lot of the artwork looked good. I thought some of it looked terrible, though, when I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. But anyway, just kind of give you an overview of the story. The story of this is Yellow doesn't like Green, so Yellow attacks Green for 36 issues, and then Green wins. That's basically the entire story. It took 36 issues to tell this story. I'm not sure why. It was one of the most... It was like watching a 13-hour Michael Bay movie. It was just constant action. There was never any downtime in this fucking thing. And it really just made me realize why I just can't get into DC. Because I was just like, man, there's no character here. I'd say half of the quote unquote dialogue was little green and yellow balloons saying "Lantern down," scanning for new host or whatever. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, and why should I care?
It was just people dying and just seeing their balloons.
All right,
He's
so
dead.
here's the thing. Like what you... like you said, the story that you chose is a war, and it's like every freaking Green Lantern from Earth in this comic. You know, like most
From the whole universe.
Yeah, well, from the whole universe, but
every
I'm
Green
saying
Lantern.
like from Earth. I mean, it's like there's way too many characters in this. I think if we would have settled on like a Green Lantern, you know, like Hal Jordan's story or that, I think it would have been more interesting. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not, but for to just dive into Green Lantern and then have every character that has ever been thought of in the Green Lantern universe.
Yeah.
Like the last issue is like 50 pages of just every character. So, and they were all in those comics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was just way too much to digest.
There was even an amoeba. Amoeba.
Not just an amoeba. No, it was specific.
It was a lantern.
Yeah, it was a lantern, but it was like the Ebola virus lantern or something.
Right.
No, I swear to God. Look it up. I was cracking up. I was like, did they just call this like not Ebola? It was something like scarlet fever.
No, I know what you're talking about.
It was
smallpox. Smallpox.
Yeah.
That was it. It was smallpox lantern.
Yeah, but
I'm like, come on, you couldn't come up with a better name. Call him Joe, for God's sake.
But Smallpox had the Green Lantern symbol on his smallpox cell.
Yeah, like a single cell.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It
was incredible. Yeah, there was a lot going on, that's for sure.
I did learn a lot, though. I mean, I like that. Like, I learned about Cyborg, Superman Prime, Sinestro, all the Green Lanterns of Earth. Like, I didn't know anything about them except for whatever the movie.
Did you know about the Manhunters?
No, I didn't know about the Manhunters. Like, I learned a lot of shit, so I kind of enjoyed it, you know. And I learned about the different spectrums of the lanterns. Like, I thought there was only red and yellow, or green and yellow from the movie. That's all. I thought there was only two So
Well, this is what kind of kicked off all the other ones, though. The other ones didn't start because they were talking about that prophecy. But yeah, this made me just ask a lot of questions. Some I actually looked up, some I didn't. First thing I looked up was Jeff Johns, the writer, because I've heard nothing but good things about this dude over at DC. That's another reason I picked this storyline. They're like, Jeff Johns. And then he got involved with the DC cinematic universe. And so then I looked up Jeff Johns because I'm like, what is the deal with this guy? I thought he was a great writer.
I've heard
and
his
I just
name
wasn't getting
too.
Yeah. I wasn't getting great writer vibes. And then did you guys look up Jeff Johns by chance? Because I did. And this is what I learned. He co-wrote Aquaman and Wonder Woman 84. So that kind of tells you, that answered a lot of questions for me about this writer. It's like this, he's a very certain kind of writer, and it's not a good one. He literally co-wrote Aquaman and Wonder Woman 84. I'm just going to say that again for emphasis and effect, because those are horrible, horrible movies. So it kind of gives you an idea of how terrible this comic was that I was so disappointed in, and makes me never, ever want to investigate Green Lantern again. Which is sad, because I thought they had kind of had some cool stuff going on, but it just maybe. Then the other thing, I was like, I feel like Sinestro is not really that old of a character, but like, how are you going to name a dude Sinestro and then think he's a good guy at any point? Like, how are you like, his name's Sinestro? What's his last name? Like Hitler? Like, okay, yeah, he'll probably be a good Lantern for a very long time. So you got that going on.
Evil.
Yeah. Then I because of that, it just made me less and less forgiving. Like, I always knew about the lanterns and the recharging. And then I was like, and the stupid saying, in brightest day, blackest night.
No, you didn't like that?
I always let it slide. And I think it's so corny and so juvenile. And I hate it. And I hate that they have actual like lanterns from like the 1700s for some reason, even though they're in outer space. And they have to charge their rings. And I'm like, well, what's charging the lanterns? Why don't they just keep that source in their fucking rings? Then they always, that's the other fucking word bubble, power at 0.25%, power, like constantly going on in this thing. And I didn't care about anything. I skipped all the Tales issues. That last issue, the 45-page issue, about halfway through, I just looked at the pictures. I stopped reading the dialogue. I didn't care. It was bad. I couldn't believe I got that far.
I just looked at what I wanted to look at. I was like, that character seems interesting. I'd like to know a little bit more about it.
I go back and look. I'm on the Wikipedia page, and it like the storyline like won awards and shit. And I'm like, this is why I don't put any credence in award. Yeah, This is like a very popular storyline, and a lot of people love it. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've possibly read in comics to date. It's this story where literally Yellow is like, and then the whole thing with fear. Fear is bad. It's like, I just couldn't help but think, it's like, not all fear is bad. Like, fear keeps you from,
fear of scalding yourself on things. Hot water is not bad.
Right. You need a little fear. Otherwise you think you're invincible.
No.
So it was just
Sinestro's thing was fear keeps people in check, and he was trying to bring order to the universe. So
kind of like sometimes government.
I know. I agree. Like fear does a good job.
The whole council, the little blue fucking floaty midgets or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They were just talking about like that. Their whole thing going on was so dumb. The Guardians.
Yeah.
They're talking about like fear, like it's all bad. And that's why, so they give the Green Lanterns the rings the ability to kill now, which I thought was hilarious. Like, you're free to murder Sinestro Corps.
Yeah.
And immediately Lanterns are like, cool.
Right.
Immediately.
No one had a problem with that at all.
The doctor did. The doctor did.
Oh, one person. One lady.
Person. Yeah, there's a couple.
That was right.
Well, okay, so fear is Yellow. Green Lantern is willpower. Then you have... was it Violet is love or Sapphire?
No, they said Violet in the comic.
Is it Violet? Well, it's the Sapphire Stone.
They create the star Sapphire.
They have like indigo and blue.
Yeah.
But again, I think that was actually created in this. Like, I know there's Blue Lantern, and then I think that was all new.
I didn't know about the Blue Lanterns, the Hope, because those Guardians made love there at the end for Hope. I don't know. They got together.
That wasn't.
That's why I was cracking up.
That was like, another blue.
Well, see, the Guardians
was white because the last one was black.
The Guardians are supposed to be beyond emotion, so they're supposed to be emotionless. Right. And then the 2 Guardians that got kicked out, they do blue or whatever color. I don't know. It's Hope.
Well, green was supposed to be the
green is willpower.
The emotion in the middle. Like all these other emotions were, yeah, but it was supposed to be the most level emotion.
And then what's red?
And
hate.
then you get to the orange and the reds,
Rage.
and that goes to rage and hate.
Yeah.
And then the blues are.
I actually read about the one. There's one Orange Lantern. I read a couple issues. My comic guy recommended it to me years ago. He's a guy named Larfleeze, and his whole thing is just greed. He just hoards shit, and including that's why there's only one Orange Lantern. It's so stupid. I can't believe it was recommended to me.
It's the Greed Lantern. That's what it was.
The Greed Lantern.
Well, they said avarice in the comic, but it's greed.
So this comic, it was wow. It was.
You didn't like it? I thought you liked it, man.
It was okay.
You love Green Lantern. I thought you'd enjoy this.
There's just I like Green Lantern. Like I've watched the cartoon, the CGI. I thought that was like really well done. I remember I think it was the first season was really good. And then it like the writing kind of tailed off. I don't know if there was 2.
I think they only had 1 season.
Okay, maybe that's it. But they end episodes or something. I thought there was 2 seasons, maybe not. But I thought that was interesting. So I learned a lot. Justice League had Jon Stewart as the Green Lantern.
Yeah. See, I was learning about all these guys.
Yeah, and so you know him. You watched Justice League.
Yeah. I knew him just from the cartoon, but I learned some backstory.
So I like his story. I didn't know anything about the newest one, the guy that
Kyle Rayner
was Ion.
Kyle Rayner.
Rayner. I know nothing about
the new
him.
Ion or the old Ion.
Yeah, well, the new Ion, some alien.
There's a
Satu Kagu, whatever.
Satu Kagu.
Yeah, that's right.
That sounds right.
That's 100% correct. That's exactly what his name is.
And then
here's the thing about Kyle Rayner.
I've heard of the other guy, Gardner. I've heard of him.
Right.
I never read anything about him. I don't remember.
He didn't have his bowl cut and his green leather jacket, unfortunately. So the Kyle Rayner thing. So that was like right when at the peak of my interest in comics when that big switchover came. So I didn't read it. I remember seeing it on the shelf. The issues leading up to Hal Jordan becoming evil and Parallax. And I remember in the comic magazine, it was called Wizard Magazine. That's where I read about this storyline, and everybody's all hyped up for it. And from what I could tell, the Green Lantern readers were pissed that they took Hal Jordan, made him evil. They put this new guy in there named Kyle Rayner, and they did not like it. Now, what's funny is at the time, I almost, not quite, but I almost started buying Green Lantern comics. So I was like, hey, maybe I'll like this new guy. He had a cooler looking costume, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I didn't ultimately. I still just wasn't. I was still just like, yeah, Green Lanterns are kind of stupid.
You chose wisely.
Apparently. Because if this is like a revered storyline, and then I couldn't help but think about like Kraven's Last Hunt and how that's a revered storyline. And I still don't think, I think Kraven's Last Hunt is a good Kraven story, but I don't think it's a great Spider-Man story. The whole thing with Kraven is like that whole 6-issue story is about him, what a villain would do if he beat Spider-Man. It's not a Spider-Man story. Spider-Man's basically dead the whole fucking thing, or close to it. And I'm just wondering, I'm like, it just makes me question what comic readers think a good story is, basically, like the popular stories. And I think it's just kind of like anything. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's actually good. So that doesn't mean I'm not gonna write off the Green Lantern because of this story. What I'm saying is there might be good Green Lantern stories. I don't want to hear or read anything Jeff Johns ever does again in my life, however.
So that was the first Jeff Johns anything you've ever read?
That I remember reading. I mean, off the top of my head, I'll say yes.
Okay.
And
because I've heard his name
you know what
so
it reminded
much.
me of? It reminded me of the second Michael Bay Transformers movie, the last, like the big climactic battle scene at the end that seemed to go on for hours. That was this entire series, was that battle scene for like 36 fucking comics, basically. And I didn't care. They would do those pages, and some of them look really cool, like where they show everybody fighting, like hundreds of people. Other ones, I'm like, I don't know what this is. Yeah. This looks like fucking green spooge. I don't know what's happening here.
Sinestro Core 99 deceased, looking for retrieval.
right. Looking for new O's.
This comic.
Corps.
Now this was not one of my favorite comics that we read, but this did have one of my favorite scenes from a comic ever. There's this guy. I have no idea who he is. Maybe you guys have read the cartoons better or something. But there's this guy with one arm, and he's got a grudge against Superman Prime or something. And he says something. Everybody's trying to attack Superman Prime, trying to get him down, hold him down.
Off his other arm.
yeah. He's like, what? Fuck you! I'm joining this fight. You took my fucking arm. So he runs up to Superman Prime, and he just grabs his other arm and rips it off. And then they cut to the next panel is like all the superheroes like this. They're like, holy shit. That was it. That was the only introduction of that guy.
Aquaman. I thought Sean would love that.
I have no idea who that guy was.
I know what you're talking about.
He had one arm. He ran up against
that must have been the last issue, because I don't even remember that. Like,
it was the funniest thing ever, man.
It was when he was fighting Superman Prime was fighting there.
Yeah. And I had no idea about
that guy is that guy.
I had no idea about Superman Prime. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that was actually Superboy, and they had some like licensing issues with the name, so they renamed him Superman Prime. I don't know the whole story though.
Oh, really?
Well, they told his backstory.
They said
I got to go read that whole last issue
Earth.
now.
He's from Prime 1. I mean, he's from Earth 1. That's why they call him Superman Prime.
Oh, is Earth 1 the same Earth Superman's from then?
No, we're not Earth 1 in the DC. What Earth are we in DC? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
don't know DC that well.
Like, Superman is not from Earth Prime. Okay. He's not Earth 1. It's like Earth something. I don't know.
Okay. So I know, like, we're from 616 in Marvel, but there's
there's the same thing. They just did Infinite Crisis, like on the CW with their shows, and I forget what Earth. Like, they all merged. It kind of like you got the backstory, and like all of them merged because the antimatter was erasing all the Earths.
Anti-Monitor.
Anti-Monitor.
Whatever his name is. So there was only one Earth left, and it was the Earth of like Flash or and Superman that we know.
It was just to fix continuity is why they do it. It was a continuity thing back in the 80s, and then they just blew the continuity up all over again, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, so they brought like all those other things to the one Earth that was left.
The more I read comics and Superman, like, the more I dislike Superman. Like, it's like,
why is that?
He's just too fucking powerful. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yes.
He had every fucking hero on the Earth remaining, battling him, and he's not even at full strength. He's got some suit on because he's waiting for the sun to come up, and he's kicking everybody's ass. I was like, he's not even at full strength. How are you supposed to fucking beat this guy? Like,
well, that's how Superman Prime was like even more powerful. Like, there was like 4 like Supergirl, Super Dog, Super everybody was trying to stop Superman
the dog.
Prime.
I was like, why did they bring the fucking dog? That's the dumbest
But
thing.
I liked how, like, I liked that storyline with Superman Prime because he was just like a dick.
Yeah.
And he knew it. And he was just like, I was like, oh, I kind of like.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the backstories.
But then he's like, yeah, I'm just taking it out on you guys, but I really want the anti-monitor.
Yeah.
That's what he's like, I want to kill that guy because he killed my girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm just doing this because I like to do it, basically. Because he was such an ass.
Yeah.
I was like, I like the way they wrote him.
So what happened at the end? Anti-Monitor was the big bad, and they trapped him in a Black Lantern or something? Is that what I was led to believe?
Yeah, Parallax.
Again, I just looked at pictures.
Parallax
in that
got
issue.
trapped.
I couldn't care.
Parallax
is in their ring. The 4
is
rings.
In the 4 lanterns,
yes.
Not the rings, but they're 4 lanterns.
Yeah,
they're 4 Earthmen's lanterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where Parallax is.
I forget how the anti-monitor got. I think the Guardians trapped him.
Yeah, well, one of the Guardians sacrificed himself.
Yeah, that was right.
And sent anti-monitor, I thought, into a new Black Lantern, and they trapped him in that.
Maybe. Who cares?
Well, this whole thing was setting up a big crossover that came, and I didn't read it, but it was a huge deal. It was called Blackest Night. It started like the Black Lantern Corps, and they had like these evil versions of like Batman and everything that were part of the Black Lantern Corps. It looked cool, but I didn't read it when it came out as DC. Their stories are so
they look so cool.
They do look cool.
They look awesome. Yeah.
They're just their story. There was just nowhere in this story for there's nothing for me to care about in this story. I didn't care about anybody. The closest it came, there's a few moments when they showed Hal Jordan's brother's family. I'm like, oh, a quiet moment. It was like 2 pages where you kind of like, oh, somebody to care about. Stakes. There's actually stakes. Because when you're like, they're going to destroy the universe, it's like, no, they're not. So you don't care about the universe because you know that's not going to happen, right? You know that's not going to, like, so I was like, okay, now we have personal stakes. We have Hal's family. And then there was actually a cool moment that I did like, and it was actually a reference to like Green Lantern issue like 51, I think, right before Hal became Parallax, where he puts on all those yellow rings and he's got like that crazy face. That's actually a reference to a Green Lantern cover where Hal Jordan is sitting there and it has the same thing with his hands up, but he has a bunch of green rings on. It's like right before he loses his shit and becomes Parallax. So I thought that was a cool scene. I was kind of curious where that was going to go. That was a little bit of drama there.
You know where I got turned? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then the other one was when Hal saved Kyle Rayner, basically when they got rid of Parallax finally.
Took him over.
Yeah, like that. Those were some cool moments that I did enjoy. I don't want to say like there wasn't anything I didn't enjoy, but it's just weird. I got to the last issue and I was just like, I was beating my head against the wall. I'm like, I don't care about anything that's happening. I don't care. It's just been constant. Lantern 2612 deceased. Scanning for new ring bearer, whatever the fuck, and then constant updates on their fucking power status. And I'm like, Green Lantern is the dumbest superhero ever created. He should have stayed in the fucking golden age, or they should have revamped this motherfucker right by now so he doesn't have to charge his ring. Like he's like us with our phones. He's like, you're like, oh, is it you got a charger at your house?
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta wait for. I can't do shit till I charge my phone, bro.
And it seems like the charge didn't last long at all. I was like, you motherfuckers just went into battle. You're already down. It's like it doesn't even.
And that's the other thing. That's that magic thing too, where it's like when somebody has a gun, I understand how many bullets are in a magazine. You know, I understand like how many magazines they have. Like I don't know how you quantify Green Lantern power, energy. You know,
like if
you got a whole planet Green Lantern, which is so fucking stupid.
Mogo.
It's a planet. It's a Green Lantern. Then you got Kilowog, you fucking poozers. That word poozers was making me angry. I actually looked up the history of poozers, and apparently that was Kilowog's drill sergeant used to call people poozers. It's just a pejorative because he used at the beginning. I felt like he was just saying it to the bad guys, and then he started calling everybody poozers. And I was like, this guy is calling people pussy losers, from what I could tell, and getting away with it. I was very confused, and I hate that word. And because I hate that word, I keep saying it around my house and calling everybody poozers.
That's part of my vocab now. Like that ain't. I'm gonna be saying that for a while. You know where they lost me was like at one point. Guy Gardner had to stop this he's in the middle of this massive war to go get a fucking painting or something.
They kind of just forgot about that too, didn't they?
To bring to Kyle to try and snap him out of Parallax. I'm like, this guy's traveling the universe to fucking find a fucking painting or some shit. I was like,
yes. It was the Martha moment of your name's Martha too. Like it was that kind of moment that they were going for, basically.
I kind of agree with you, Sean. The more I read, I was like, man, the story is not smooth at all. It was just kind of choppy. You know, you learned a little bit here, like he said about the painting. It's like whatever happened to that. I don't ever think that he brought the painting to them. I thought that Hal Jordan just helped them at the end there. And, it would, you'd go like see the doctor on the Sinestro's planet, and then they just kind of left that alone. It was I didn't think it was well written, like the whole arc, and I get it.
I thought
a lot of crossovers and stuff. So we were just getting the pieces of it, but I was like, man, it's very choppy, and speaking of charging the lantern, do you ever remember watching Justice League and having Jon Stewart have to charge his lantern?
I don't even.
I think they just did away with it. I think what's the guy we like that does the animated for DC? Bruce Timm. I think he was like, yeah, we got to get rid of this.
Yeah, get rid of that. Yeah. It's so dumb. And then they said that saying.
Yeah, he might have said it a couple times.
You don't like the saying?
I don't. As long as they don't say it every time they're about to fight or charge. You know what I mean? Once every 15 episodes is enough.
See, in the movie, that I did like that when he said it, because he's holding Parallax down. And he's like, I will muster up the fucking strength and I will say this.
Yeah, okay,
line.
You could say it then, because it's kind of willpower.
Yeah, but like if they do it a lot though. Like, I know
you don't have to do it every time. There,
it's not. Yeah, it's not very monumental when they say it every 5 seconds. But yeah, and then so the Yellow Corps had their saying too, just like that, only it switched up.
Oh my god, it's so dumb. It just reminded me of like the fucking Proud Boys. It's just a dumb club. It's like a fucking fraternity. It's like, this is so stupid, juvenile, asinine. They got to do away with so much stuff for me to get into that shit.
So
it's disappointing.
Was it just that story, you think? Because you said you're not off Green Lantern completely. You think it was just that story you didn't like? Could you still get into?
Well, like Rob said, I've seen some of the CG animated series. I liked what I saw of that. That seemed to deal with the Red Lanterns. And even then, though, even watching that, it's still just stupid, because you're literally, it's like crayons fighting each other. It doesn't really make sense. It's just like, or it's a race war if you want to go that route. You want to go really dark. It's just literal colors fighting each other. And it's just really weird. Like, how do you determine who's more powerful? How do you do, like, it's like the magic thing. Like, I don't understand it. I can't quantify it. And so my brain just throws it out. Like, I don't get it. I don't like it. And I was just very disappointed.
Yeah, it's kind of like paper beats scissors, scissors beats paper.
He's just like, turning it too far. Bring it back.
Who beats who in these color wars? Right.
Right. It is. It's paper, scissors, rock. Right. And it doesn't make sense. And like, somebody will just have an explosion of power all of a sudden. And it's like, well, wait a minute, you were fighting that guy and you didn't kill him, but the very next guy, you just fucking killed him in one hit. What's happening? Like, I don't understand. And again, it was so much going on. Didn't care about anyone. I wanted somebody significant to die, just so I was like, oh, wow, that was a bold move. But it didn't happen.
I cared about the lady who opened up her back and put babies inside.
Oh, that was creepy.
Again, that must have been the last issue. Okay, all right. Here's the other thing. Was there a point in this comic book where there were floating baby bombs?
Yeah,
babies were.
What? Thank you.
What?
I forgot about that. I think I threw it out of my mind because I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, the blink
and they
bombs.
called them what'd they call them?
Blink bombs.
Oh man, I was like,
they look like babies? And
I'm
like, why? What is happening?
They were babies.
They look like Cabbage Patch dolls floating down.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's like when there was an amoeba with a Green Lantern symbol on this amoeba chest. I was like, why? It's like you said, why is there a planet? Why is there a Green Lantern planet? It's like,
and then there was a Yellow Lantern planet too, or city or something. It was a city. Somehow you could be a city Yellow Lantern.
Yeah.
So stupid. So stupid.
So Oa, that's the planet where all the green stuff originates, right? And then it goes out to lanterns across the universe and charges them there. Yeah. Like, so that green.
That's what I gathered. That's where the Green Lanterns assemble or whatever. That's
but is that like the source of the green power? Does it all reside in Oa and then go out throughout the universe?
Yeah, man. That's where they grow all the weed, man. It's right there on Oa, man. Give everybody that green. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. It just makes me angry thinking about it.
All right.
It's so stupid.
Let's if you had a ring, what would you first create? What would
you manifest?
Yeah.
What would I manifest with a Green Lantern ring? I would probably.
You're going into battle. What do you conjure?
A I don't know. I guess a jet to get out of there because I don't want to be there. I don't. I don't.
Ryan Reynolds did that.
I don't know. It's a weird. It's such a weird power because again, like, is it gonna? Sometimes their constructs break. They're not powerful enough. And again, I don't understand the power levels. Like, how powerful is, like, can you conjure every? Can I just have the most powerful sword in the world, but it depletes after 5 seconds? I don't know. I don't understand it.
I was thinking I would just drop nukes on everybody, green nukes. But I'm like, will that deplete my ring in one shot? You know, like,
are you allowed to kill though? Or have they granted you the ability to kill with your green ring?
Well,
like, which I didn't know that was like a restriction until I read this either. I don't know if that's
I didn't.
That's something that's been in there.
I didn't know anything until I read this comic. I learned
man, this is a really dumb series. Like, it was really dumb.
I'm curious to see the other ring.
Did you read this one? It's what's it called?
Bring it back. Put him in the middle.
CRR. He's a mathematical equation lantern. It's like, what?
It's like pi.
I gotta read this. Yeah. Dirt CRRR is a biosentient mathematical equation first discovered by a mad mathematician. Let's see. He goes into the brain of his enemies and erases them. A subject of much debate across OA. I was like, what?
Got mathematical equation lanterns.
Yeah, that and the smallpox guy. I was cracking up. I can't find.
Also, I just need to stipulate, just if for any reason, I just need people to know that I don't hate Jeff Johns. I don't hate people. I don't want to read his stories anymore. It's not a personal thing. I'm not doing what internet people, they get really upset and they're like, I hate George Lucas. I hate so and so. I don't hate Jeff Johns at all. He's doing his thing. He's crushing it. He's one of those writers that I'm learning from. Kind of learning what I don't want to do in a story. So there's stuff to learn there. But again, his type of storytelling clearly resonates with a lot of people. The story was very popular. What did I do with my iPad? Look and see. I think this won some shit, man.
I'm reading The Flash right now, and I think this is better than some of the stories.
I think he's written some Flash stuff.
Oh, okay. I ran into one villain in The Flash. His name was Papercut.
Cool. Hey, man, there's some terrible villains out there. They got Condiment King over in Batman, for God's sake.
I think I'd rather be Condiment King than Papercut.
Polka Dot was another guy, like Polka Dot Man or something.
Condiment King.
Critical reception of Sinestro Corps War was highly positive. IGN.com called the story a smash hit. Newsarama referred to it as both an action-packed DC adventure and DC's blockbuster event of the year. Comic Book Resources released an editorial in mid-October of 2007 entitled Sinestro Corps War is what World War Hulk should be. World War Hulk was pretty good. Not great. The beginning of it was better than the end. But anyway, this World War Hulk was way more entertaining than this. Let's see now. Comic Book Resources placed Sinestro Corps War in its best of 2007 list, named Jeff Johns one of the best writers of 2007. In 2008, Ethan Van Sciver earned an Eisner Award nomination for his art in Green Lantern Sinestro Corps Special #1. DC Comics executive editor Dan Didio praised the storyline as the best thing that DC Comics put out this year, without a doubt. So 2007 was obviously a terrible year at DC Comics, from what I gathered. So, they had nothing going on.
So the awards are the same people that gave out these awards are the same ones that gave out the awards for Sex Criminals, I'm assuming.
Sex Criminals is good writing. I can't help you with that. That is good writing. That was it's character development, a unique concept.
The characters they did develop well. That's why I think I'm not giving up on Green Lantern. I'd like to read like just a Hal Jordan comic or just a John Stewart.
I will grant you permission now. Open your DC Infinite app whenever you want.
Yeah, I would like to. Yes, but
Rob ain't gonna.
But you're not going to.
Maybe, you never know.
You're not going to. Though.
Hey, I read a few more Scud.
You
a
did.
year and a half ago.
Yeah, not yeah.
Not since then.
So anyway,
So what would your rating be, Rob? What's your 4?
I give it a 2. I don't think it was
Wow.
a 1 worthy. I mean, yeah, that's about it. I thought we read freaking 16 comics, and like you said, they were all different artists, different writers. Some of them were better than others, I thought. I actually liked some of the backstory ones, like Superman Prime. I thought that was interesting. Hank Henshaw with Cyborg Superman. Yeah, I knew a little. I know these characters from the cartoons, so
right.
But to get their backstory, I liked it. Some of the comics, I thought the artwork was really good. So I mean, I'm not gonna just shit all over this. I think it was just so much, to first learn about Green Lantern. When I read the first comic, I was lost. I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah,
I don't know who this Ion guy is. I don't know who.
I still don't know what the ion power is.
It's like parallax, but it's willpower.
Oh,
see, so you don't need a ring to wield ion. You don't need a ring. It's just you have this entity in you, kind of like parallax.
So I thought so that must not have been how the movie said that Parallax was a guardian.
It's a movie. Just ignore it. It was a DC.
So that's not how it was in the comics then.
It was what? Say that again.
They said Parallax was a guardian that went rogue and turned into Parallax.
Maybe. I don't know.
I didn't know if Ion was a guardian that went too willpowery.
Yeah. Who knew? Who knows?
All right, Steve.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2.
2 out of 4 for Bobby.
I will give it a 2.5. I liked it a little bit more than a lot more than Sean, but a little bit more than Rob. I thought the story was pretty grand, and I know it was over 30 issues or however many we read, but it encompassed a lot. It showed the war. It showed the little side missions that everybody had to do, just so they could end up winning in the end. And I loved learning about all the lanterns and all the rainbow colors and all that stuff. And I really think I like the lanterns. I think they look cool as hell, man. And it's like you said, though, like maybe if you read like a single story and you got more intimate with one of the characters, I think I would have liked it a little bit more. But I did. I enjoyed learning about all these different characters. But yeah, I'm with you. Like the storytelling the story could have been better, because it's like Sean said, like we all knew the universe wasn't going to be destroyed. It's like, and I thought that was cool too. They weren't trying to just destroy that universe. They were trying to destroy parallel universes too. So I thought that was a kind of a cool reveal in the end. All the lanterns thought they were just going after that one, but they were going after multiple ones. But it wasn't destroy. It wasn't destroy. It was to bring fear too.
So. No, the anti-monitor.
Oh, the anti-monitor.
He wants to get rid of like all our existence.
Yeah, but he was playing Sinestro. Sinestro wanted to just bring order to the universe through fear. So I thought it was interesting. And Sean.
Well, you guys have convinced me to raise my score, so I'm going to give it half a star.
Wow.
Because the artist did work hard. I mean, there were 147 issues to do artwork in, so that's a lot of work.
Lots of battle scenes.
So due to the artist's hard work, some better than others, I'll give it half a star. This was a Zack Snyder, Michael Bay wet dream. It's not my thing. It's just not for me. I need downtime. I need that, I need dynamics in my storytelling, basically. I like the big fight scenes, but I like to build up to the big fight scenes. I don't want to go to a movie and watch 2 hours of fight scene. You gotta.
Well, I thought that's what the Tales. I thought that's what the Tales issues were for, to take you out of that fight scene and then bring you back.
Well, the pacing of it was just too. It was too. I think if it was shorter, I could have enjoyed it more. Like if they'd pared it down to say like 30 issues, I could have enjoyed it. But it was just too much, and too much of the same thing over and over, and it was very confusing because I swear to God, like I'd finish an issue, and I had to go back and look. I was like, is this DC Infinite app giving me these comics in the wrong order? From what I could tell, it wasn't. But like information that I had just read in the previous issue was being relayed to me as if it was new information. It's like, I just read all this, and it wasn't a recap. It was like in the middle of the story.
You weren't the only one. Me and Rob and I did the same thing. Yeah, we were like,
dude, the first issue, and I had to I thought there was something wrong with my app. The first issue, I don't know if it was like a flashback or something, but it was like Kyle Rayner's been taken, and then Kyle Rayner's sitting there having lunch with them. I'm like, what? What is happening? I don't understand what's happening. Right from the off.
The first issue I was so confused. I was like, God, I hope this gets better. It got better. But maybe because the first issue was so bad. I don't know. But I was really lost.
There was a part where Superman Prime was beating the shit out of fucking who was it? Sodom Yacht? The new Ion?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I call him Roomba.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's from a red sun as well, so he has powers as well.
Well, he was Superman Prime was beating the shit out of Sodom Yacht, and I thought at the end, they had killed him.
Who, Sodom Yacht?
Yeah, and then the next thing I know, they don't say anything. They just show a guy on the ground, and he's getting help from that doctor one. Well, but they didn't even mention it was him.
No, they explained that pretty well. When they went into the nuclear plant. Sean doesn't care, but I'll explain it to you. No,
I read.
They went into
this point.
Yeah, when they went into the nuclear plant,
the lead lined walls and everything.
The lead has it's like kryptonite for Sodom Yacht.
Yeah.
So he got lead poisoning.
Yeah.
So if he takes his ring off, he'll die from the lead poisoning because it's in his blood. So the ring, now that he has to wear a ring now, because that protects him from the lead poisoning.
Yeah, I got that, but I thought Superman Prime had just kept beating the shit out of him. Well, and the last thing you see is Prime floating in the air, holding his limp body.
Yeah.
So I just thought he was
after
dead.
That, though, he got distracted because the anti-monitor came out.
Yeah, I get that, but they didn't even mention it when they introduced him back in the next episode. I was like, he was just getting medical attention. I was like, oh, I thought the motherfucker was dead. Like, I didn't know.
Well, he wasn't.
Yeah, well, I know that now, but it's just it didn't, it was all over the place.
Yeah, and anything you got confused with this, I could see how it happens.
And that's when I just kind of shut off a lot of stuff, and I just started processing the pertinent information or what seemed relevant, because again, it was just a lot of lanterns, yellow and green, dying. None seemed to be of any consequence. No one seemed to genuinely care. So I was like, okay, just keep going and get through this. I got about halfway through that last, I guess technically the next last issue, because there's also like a fucking epilogue issue that I didn't even touch. But
I did.
but the one you're talking about, I got about halfway through. I was reading that whole fight scene. I was reading about the Guardians and the two lover Guardians. Man, yeah, it was this story is something else.
The Guardians,
it was just so stupid.
I hate the Guardians. Honestly, can we just get rid of these little fucking blue assholes?
Right.
I don't like them at all.
Honest to
God,
they
look stupid.
I think after the 14th episode, I thought it wrapped it up, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "Continue on." I was like, "What? They just finised. They won."
That's what I did.
What the hell?
That's what I was
like. And then there was like 2 more hours of reading. I was like, "Good Lord, man!"
And it wasn't even 2 more hours. It was you had 2 more issues, and then like an encyclopedia of characters.
Yeah. And then they threw a story in there. Did you see that in the middle of the?
Yeah, about the keeper.
Yeah, whatever
of the dead lanterns.
Yeah, they explained I
like that. I thought
that's where like the black lanterns come from too. I think it's something to do with like dead lanterns.
Moro. I think you're right.
Back to life.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I think Rob got a name right. I think it was Moro.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So.
Man, I was so hung up on this story, I just realized I haven't picked anything for next week. I can tell you it's not going to be a Green Lantern story.
So what was the other DC you were proposing last week? I forgot already.
Lobo.
Lobo?
I was going to do Lobo, but
Let's do Lobo.
I just actually fell in love with this little. I just started reading this story, so I haven't read it yet.
So let's read
but
it all
I have
together.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a Marvel story though. It's only 7 issues. It's called The Crew. It's on Marvel Unlimited. It's only 7 issues. So I've always preferred War Machine to Iron Man for a few reasons. One, War Machine kind of came up when I was into comics. Like I remember Iron Man 282 when War Machine first appeared. James Rhodes had been around for a while, but War Machine was new. And I immediately just fell in love with the armor. And then I read about the character. The character was just more relatable because he's a military dude. He's not some super rich alcoholic billionaire, which is what Tony Stark was in the comics at the time. So I always like Jim Rhodes, War Machine. So I've read a bunch of his stuff. So this is a story that is mostly about Jim Rhodes. Yeah, and he doesn't even really have his War Machine armor, at least at this point in the story. So it's called The Crew.
Lobo, or are we doing War Machine?
No, he's talking about
War
the
Machine.
Crew.
Oh, we're going to do War Machine.
Yeah, The Crew.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to do another DC. I'm just so deflated right now from what they did to me. But I started reading this story this week because I was looking for some good War Machine stories. And it's called The Crew. It was a 7-issue series, and that's it. That's all I know about it. It's
got
Crew,
Lobo
it's Jim
in
Rhodes. No, Lobo's DC.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, we're not doing Lobo. We're doing something called The Crew.
We're doing
it's about
War
Jim
Machine.
Rhodes, aka
Okay.
War Machine.
I got you.
What are we doing?
The Crew.
We're doing Green Lantern.
7 issues. 7 issues. Allegedly.
We're gonna do Red versus Blue, Lantern Corps War. It's gonna be who's the better.
You're not curious to see the fucking Star Sapphire love lanterns?
Watch the animated series with your kids. It's good. They'll like it.
I want to see some love lanterns. I want to see some greedy lanterns.
Carol.
There's only one.
There's one. That's it. I thought you said.
Yeah, I told you that earlier.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that was the only one.
Lantern.
I thought you were saying that was the only one you knew of.
No, there's one orange lantern. His name is Larfleeze, and he's an alien, and he hoards stuff. He's greedy. That's his whole thing. It's his whole shtick.
Fucking poozer.
Does he need
poozer?
Does he need a battery to charge his greed?
He does. He needs his iPhone charger at all times. He stores parallax in his iPhone charger as well. Like, just dumb. Don't get me wrong. I know some people are like, comics are dumb. It's like, no, this comic is dumb. This comic is what people think comics are. And obviously it is what comics are, some comics, but these are not the comics I am enjoying and reading and taking things from. Like this is, I'm trying to think.
Is it just the magic part? Like, you just don't.
No, it's a lot of things.
You don't like
it's a lot of stuff.
You don't like being able to, conjure up whatever you want.
That could be cool. However, if the ring didn't have like limits, or if it had defined limits, if it didn't need recharged, if it wasn't color versus color, for God's sakes, this is like a kindergarten argument. Like, it's so dumb. They're like, well, we're yellow. And green sucks. And it's like, this is just bad. Oh, I just lost my fucking earbud. Fuck.
That's because you're doing that awesome motion of putting your hands on your hips.
He couldn't hear.
We're yellow. He just knocked over 3 posters.
I just rolled over my kid.
Yeah.
There's like, there is stuff I like about Greenland. I like the idea of like space cops. I like, patrolling the universe. Maybe I just don't like them on this scale, because I did like Rob said, that CGI show that I started watching wasn't bad. It was kind of like more like a buddy cop thing. You had like Hal Jordan and Kilowog and some other guys, and then you had I think tied in with Atrocitus, and they were there was like a Green Lantern. It became a Red Lantern. A more narrowed scope for the story. This is just not a good one for somebody. This is not a good place to start. If you haven't read Green Lantern and you're interested, start somewhere else. I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
Don't start here.
Yeah, you were supposed to start us off somewhere we would like.
So, well, I didn't know. I hadn't read it.
He heard he got rave reviews from.
Yeah, it was like it's the one that stood out.
Yeah,
like the name of it stood out. I saw some of the artwork and it looked really good, and I was like, I knew who Sinestro was from the movie. So I was like, all right, we'll do this one. This will be cool. I didn't know it was just going to be like back to back fucking Michael Bay the whole fucking time. Yeah. I don't like the saying. I don't like the stupid and bright as day, dark as night. That's so stupid and so 1930s. Like, update that shit. Don't say that shit. Stop saying that shit. Like, you say that one time when you sign up to be a Green Lantern. That's like your pledge. That's your Hippocratic oath or whatever, right? You don't say it 100% of the time.
What are you guys doing? You want to get on the podcast?
Mommy told us we could come in. No, I want them to be quiet. See, look, now they're on camera. Like they're on camera now. All right, let's go.
You have to sign a disclaimer.
Hey, you guys want to read Green Lantern?
You gonna put your kids on YouTube? This changes the whole video. I gotta change clearances now. Shit.
Yeah, we'll be done in a minute. All right, go with mommy. Love you. Bye.
It's different now. They have the camera. Mommy told us we could go in. I told you to go in quietly. You ruined it.
No, but seriously, I gotta. There's like something. I gotta. There's literally like a waiver on YouTube to have kids on there now.
Yeah, so, no, I wasn't kidding. I was like,
yeah, it's a
thing. Yeah.
I didn't invite him in.
Hey, okay, so I got to show you guys what I bought since we got a YouTube video. It's not really all that exciting. This is not that exciting. It is a compendium. I've decided I'm going to get a bookshelf, probably put it back here somewhere. I'm going to start buying hardback versions of collected comics so I can display them and look like, Ron Burgundy or whatever, my many books. And so the first hardback one I bought is Deadpool. It's called Beginnings. I don't know if you can see that.
I see it there.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
So it collects, I don't know how many issues. There's a bunch of issues in here. But basically, it's a lot of his early appearances. His first appearance, and then like a bunch of like weird little appearances he had in other people's comics before he finally got his own ongoing series. So I thought it was a good place to start. Next week, hopefully, I will have a compendium to show you that's going to blow your mind. It's going to dwarf the size of this fucking thing. It's so fucking huge. It's called Deadpool, the Adamantium Collection. And I can't wait to show it to you guys.
He's going to get the dark hole.
Yeah, he's got the dark hole. There's this V for Vendetta one I want. It's like $90. And I'm like, oh,
Absolute. I have some Absolute editions.
Absolute. Yeah, that's what it was.
I have Absolute Watchmen. I have Absolute Hush. I have Absolute Dark Knight and Absolute Batman Year One. No, I don't have Year One. I have The Killing Joke. I don't have the Year One yet.
I have zero absolutes.
I have absolute zero interest in comics.
Man, I thought Rob was going to like Green Lantern a lot more. This is disappointing.
I gave it a 2 because of the artwork, but man, the story was choppy. If you would have broke down certain issues, god damn, we read like 16. That's more than I read like the last 5 episodes.
Yeah,
this is probably the biggest story we've read, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the biggest thing up to this was like
Star
12,
Wars.
maybe 13 issues.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was 12.
Star Wars was like 6 issues.
No, it was more than that.
No, it wasn't.
Star Wars was way longer.
I think you're thinking a Long Halloween, or maybe that one was 12 issues. The Star Wars one was 12.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
that was. I think it might have been 12.
It was about as good though. I think I gave it a 2.
Dude,
maybe a 3 because it was Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping this one, I would get sucked into this one.
Me too.
Because I
want to like new things.
Yeah, and I saw the Flash in a couple of these issues too, so I was like, I want to like Green Lantern and Flash, and I can get all this together. And but yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot for a person just coming into Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's not a good place to start for the readers if you want to read.
Dude, I was so lost. I had to read. So I not only had to read all those issues, I had to like reread the fucking issues.
And I know a lot about
Oh, man.
2 of the 4 Earth Green Lanterns.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I knew.
So for somebody that doesn't know anything about Green Lantern, woo, man,
Yeah.
that is not where to start.
yeah,
You learned a lot.
But I know about the Manhunters. I know like a lot of stuff like Cyborg, Superman that you don't know.
yeah, no idea. Had no
Yeah.
idea those Supermans exist. I'm like, how many? I get it, parallel Earth. I didn't know they were so popular. I was like, geez, they're just slinging these people in here like everybody knows them.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a bit overwhelming. And I don't want to write Green Lantern off. I really don't. But man, some of the stuff they embraced, again, like with the stupid oath. Seeing that, like, I never want to read that again. It's just so cheesy. Could you imagine if like Spider-Man or Captain America was always like, I pledge allegiance to the flag. And like every time he started fighting someone, like, it's fucking stupid. Like, it's just dumb. Like, don't do that. Stop doing that. That's old school.
Up and away. Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
No.
Superman doesn't do that.
No.
I didn't know. Maybe if
But yeah.
saying that gave him a boost of Green Lantern powers. Maybe.
If it does, it's stupid.
it
Don't do that.
makes them ion. Maybe
Make
I don't
them,
know.
Just shorten it. Just shorten it down and just be like, Poozer. And like, that's it. That's all you get. That's how you get your burst. Poozer. Who's a poozer? You're a poozer. Yeah, just disappointed overall. It literally just struck me as a Michael Bay type of thing, and that is not my speed at all. So I was not shocked to learn that Jeff Johns worked on Aquaman and Wonder Woman 84 as a writer. Kind of shift some things into focus.
You know what I did read that I really enjoyed before I read the Green Lantern? That new Keanu Reeves Berserker comic. I really like. I know you read it too.
Keanu Reeves wrote it.
Yeah. Well, part wrote. He's
He's a co-writer. He created it. He created it.
He had a ghostwriter.
And nope, he co-wrote something. He created it, and I think it was just like an idea in his head. And then, from what I read, he took a meeting with a comic book publisher called Boom Studios and told them about it. And they're like, "Dude, if you ever want to do a comic," he's like, "I'll do a comic." And then he started working with a guy, and it's the guy. The character looks just like Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
He wants to play him in a movie.
Yeah. Oh God.
And
from what I read in this first one, I can't wait to see this on the screen.
So how many episodes?
Rob, this is like the most violent thing I've read so far.
Really?
It was crazy.
He ripped a guy. He ripped a guy's rib out and then stabbed somebody else with the rib.
It was fucking awesome.
It was just
Keanu,
gruesome.
He's dark, huh?
Yeah,
it's great. And
he's been through a lot.
And they explain what's going. Well, not fully, but you get a gist of why he's.
Is he just
doing what
so
he's
he's
doing.
a human? He's a human.
Mm-hmm.
He's like immortal, and he wants to die. And he's working for the U.S. government as an agent, like doing these assassinations. And they're working with him to make him supposedly. We don't know yet. It's one issue in, but the deal is they're going to make him mortal.
Okay.
But who knows if that's actually what they're doing? He just
oh my God,
he's been around for he's like 10,000 years old. He's been around forever. So it's got like tones of it reminds me of like Wolverine a little bit. Wolverine is almost unkillable, except this guy's been around even longer.
What's the guy from DC? The guy, I think we've talked about this before. He's got like the goatee and Savage.
Vandal Savage.
Randall. Yeah,
Vandal Savage.
Randall.
Yeah, kind of like him.
Vandal Savage.
Yeah, he's been around for
but
since Neanderthals or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was just, and what's funny is like, this was like a straight up action issue with just a little bit, kind of like little taste of story. But I think that's what helped though, is because there wasn't constant dialogue bubbles everywhere.
Green Lantern deceased.
Right. It was told visually. They gave you just enough information so you kind of understood what's going on, but you can kind of tell they're holding something back too, that it's not as straightforward as it seems right now. Or that's what I got. I don't know what Mr. fucking Book of the Dead over here thinks, but it was a straight up violent thing. It just kind of set the stage for who this guy is, and we're going to find out more about him. But I think it's a mini series. I don't know if it's like 6 issues or something.
Oh, cool. So there's only one issue out.
Stoked. Yeah, it's in my Comixology. If you actually
How
want
do
to
you?
read it.
Is it out on like? Can you go to the comic store and get it?
Yeah, it just came out like a week or so ago.
Last week.
Did you get it? Did you buy
No,
it?
I'm going this weekend to get it though. Okay, Boom Studios is the same people that do Firefly, so I'm behind on some Fireflies. I need to pick up a bunch of shit on there.
Cool.
But yeah, Berserker, BRZK.
So if I get this
BRZKR
could be
or
my first issue, and I can retire in 50
Yeah,
years.
go get your first issue. You never know.
This is like the highest ordered issue
I
of
was
a
gonna
comic
say,
in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
So
they're probably not going to go up in value.
They're flooding the market.
Yeah, it's been ordered. It's the comic. That's what the comic shops have ordered. That's the response they're expecting. It's like I think it's the best ordered comic since the last Star Wars #1 they did a few years back.
Oh, cool.
So it's pretty high order count, which is cool, which is good.
Well,
it means we'll get more.
You can get yourself a variant. Is there any variants?
Oh yes, there are variants. Yes, there are variant covers for sure. I just have the regulars, the standard A cover. I enjoyed it for what it is.
Yeah, and like you said, it was straight up brutal action, but just like Sean was saying, just enough there, story in between, and it all flowed. It flowed great. I'm really excited.
I think it helps too. I love Keanu Reeves, and so I hear everything in his voice as I'm reading it.
Right?
And you can't help but think about John Wick and Neo and all these other characters he played, and I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah. I thought it was a good time. That's my take on that. Anyway, do you have any toys you want to show the YouTube audience?
Oh man, I got tons of toys, but this is one of my favorites that Sean gave to me.
The Neo.
It's my Neo.
I wonder what that's worth now. I bought that for you.
Dude, it's pretty good.
$2.
No, it's like over $50, I think.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I gotta know. It's shocking to me that Funkos go up in value. Like that just blows my mind.
Right, and by the time I want to sell them, nobody will care about them.
I thought they were going to disappear like Beanie Babies, like real quick. According to the app, that is worth $85.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be up there. Sean's like, why did I give that to Steve?
I didn't give it to you. I bought it for you as a birthday present.
Bought it. That's what I meant.
Yeah. I have no regrets about that. That's what a gift is.
No, you got me all of them. You got me all of them.
So, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, do you have 4 of them or 3 of them? I thought I only got 3.
No, I never bought any of those.
You got all 4?
Yeah, you got them all 4.
Oh, okay. So, I'm on eBay right now. This auction ends in a day. For all 4 of them, it's up to $200, $202.
Ooh, sell now. Sell. Hey, man, what did I get you? Gumby? You don't even know. Gumby and
Rob's like, I don't know. I threw it in the garage.
He already sold it. He sold it for 12 cents.
Yeah, right. You traded it in for cigarettes.
That is correct.
$200. Damn, I can get a fucking... Dude, that's halfway towards that Flash comic I wanted.
I should watch that auction. I'm really curious what the whole thing sells for.
Yeah, because that wasn't a buy.
I'm a good friend.
Yeah, that was awesome.
$250.
Good job, Sean.
I literally got them. They were like $10 a piece, and it was around your birthday or something. And I was like, Steve will appreciate these. So,
and I appreciated them so much. I don't even remember you giving them to me.
That's great.
I'm sorry. I don't remember yesterday. If that makes you feel better.
So
no, man, I never buy any of these.
He probably spent $100 on one that he forgot.
No, I wonder what that V for Vendetta is pretty expensive too. But I'll have something next week.
What are the numbers
lined up more
impressive? The numbers like 157.
They make no sense. Yeah. I don't know. Don't question that. Don't go down that rabbit hole. That's a bad idea.
A 135 Firefly, and you got like a 135 V for Vendetta or something. That makes no sense.
I don't know.
Well, none of them make sense. They all look like the same goddamn character.
I think that V's like 80. I think that V's like $80 too. Yeah. So like, when
You end up getting you got the legit one. I know you were looking at getting a Chinese knockoff at one point.
Yeah, no, I did get the legit one because I was like, fuck it. It's one of
It'll
one of the
cost
favorite
you.
ones that I wanted, So I was like,
It'll
fucking
cost
get it.
you.
My kids will sell all this shit. They'll be all right. They'll be good.
Exactly. That's actually why
You just give it away to
I have less
Goodwill.
trouble.
They'll throw it
They'll
out
just
in the
give
curb.
it to Goodwill.
I have less trouble buying this stuff because I know most of it is some type of investment. Most of the stuff I buy actually goes up in value.
Oh, you should have seen the pitch I was trying to sell Kristen on this Flash of Two Worlds, where it's the first time any comic introduces the multiverse. It's in DC.
Okay.
And it was like 500 and it was like a 5.0 grading. And dude, I was trying to sell this so hard. I was like, I mean, payments would only be like $20 a month, Kristen. It's like, come on.
5.0 bad?
It's in the middle. But I mean, for a comic that old, it's not bad. And and that was 500 for that. So like the 9.8 or whatever is like $30,000 or something like that. It's fucking ridiculous.
Right.
But I was like, this would be a good investment.
Dude, I checked out my New Mutants 98 first appearance of Deadpool, which I bought in Memphis for like $8. I got it graded and slabbed. It's a 9.6. I just looked literally yesterday to see how much one went for. $710.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. It just keeps going up.
Yeah.
And just a few years ago, it was $400. So the fact that it's gone up that much in like 3 years.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years is pretty cool.
I was like, Kristen, they're introducing all these multiverses right now. I mean, multiverse is going to be hot. It's going to be hot, Kristen. We got to get on this now.
Yeah, but the Flash is DC.
What? The Flash is DC, yeah, but it's still the first mention of a multiverse in any comics.
Okay, I got you. I see your thinking.
Yeah, like Marvel didn't introduce the multiverse.
I see your thinking.
Can I borrow $500?
All right, well, that's all I got for this week.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Rob, did you read any other comics besides these 80 issues?
Really? You're gonna ask me this week if I read any other comics?
I read Berserker, so I don't know.
I didn't even know about Berserker.
Yeah.
So yeah, this The Crew. It's a Marvel series, 7 issues.
Sean's
That's
like,
it.
I have to get that DC out of my mouth.
I do. Like, I need something. I need like an aperitif of some kind.
Aperitif. Jesus, that's like his third big word he's used today.
But yeah, I need a cleanser. I need a palate cleanser though.
Sean was not perusing this last series. He was skimming.
The last issue was not perused.
He was skimming.
Yeah.
I started off all in. I need you to know that. I was all in, and I read every fucking dialogue bubble, balloon, whatever you want to call it. And then as I probably got halfway through, and I started like just scanning for what seemed like pertinent information. Then literally that last issue, 45 pages, where the whole battle's going on. I got about halfway through it. Like Rob was talking about the fight in the nuclear plant. And then like shortly after that, I just started leafing through. I'm like, what's happening here? Oh, the anti-monitor's here. Okay. Oh, somebody killed Ganthet or Sayed or something. I don't know what's happening.
Sounds
just like kind of leafing through it.
www.wikipedia.com.
Right.
Got it.
Like, yeah. How does this wrap up? Let me guess. And then I did. I got to the end and they had the big splash pages with all the, the lanterns, and they're all like, Green Lantern's might. And,
yeah, all 4 of them, like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the end of an Austin Powers movie. They're like, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, no, they did it. Who saw that coming? And it was just, man, don't get me wrong. I know most stories are going to end like that. I don't have a problem with the super mega happy ending, but get there a little fucking quicker, man. Like, I don't.
Well, it was a battle of all the lanterns.
Can you imagine, like, being a comic book reader? I mean, we went through how many different comics? Like, I mean, there was like 8 different crossovers. Yeah. I mean,
right.
I was lost. I was like, what am I supposed to be reading?
Like, there was like the first issue was like a standalone thing.
Right.
It was like the
I thought that's what it was going to be. And it was like super crossover.
Yeah.
It's like crossover on steroids.
I was like, before digital comics, man, everybody was like, if you were really interested, you were going out and buying all that shit. You know, I understand these giant boxes that everybody has.
You know what's even worse is, like, I don't know how this got, because I would have forgot. Like, I would have become uninterested waiting for that next episode, because I'd be like, man, you lost me after the third issue. You know, you speak Bob.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, normally when there is a big crossover, like right now I'm reading King in Black. I'm only reading the actual King in Black issues. I'm not reading X-Men King in Black and Spike. Like, I'm reading Venom, but it's because I'm already reading Venom, where that ties in. But they're keeping the main story is contained in the King in Black issues. If you want to read the other stuff, you can, but it's not at all essential. So I appreciate that. And this did some repetitive stuff too, though. Like I said, there were some issues where I was like, what? Didn't this already happen? And they were true, but I think they were just telling the story from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. It was different Green Lanterns, but you know, I was just, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Bored.
I mean, I was bored, but I just felt I was like exhausted,
overwhelmed.
Yeah, with all the Green Lanterns and trying to figure out which ones were important and which ones weren't, and which ones were poozers and which ones were not poozers, and there's just a lot going on.
The math problem, the math equation one is not important, and the amoeba one is not important.
And then,
although the amoeba one did play the amoeba one saved Guy Gardner's life, apparently. So I guess
smallpox.
That was a significant one in this issue, at least.
Did you see the head lice Green Lantern? There was a head lice Green Lantern. There was the genital crabs Green Lantern. There was like a lot going. Did I get a spit take?
No,
was that a spit take?
If you would have led with crabs instead of lice, you would have got it. Like, Kristen's computer ruined.
Just fries out. All right. So let's wrap it up. Anything you want to add?
Go out and buy Berserker and help Keanu.
I agree. I concur. Check it out. You can get it digitally too.
What about you, Rob? You got anything else?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
I was like, I want to go home and eat Pizza Hut.
I need to go home.
All right, we're out.
I'm hungry.
Let's do it. Peace. Thanks for listening, everybody. And watching. We're on YouTube.
The hawk's always angry. I'm always hungry.
I feel that energy.
I too feel that energy.
All right, later.
Later.